quick updates here. If you have been trying to follow StarCraft for a while now, you will know there's been almost no announcements yet. We are recording this video at the, I think, last day of February here. We finally have SSL Spring, or SSL Season 2, or the next season of ASL. For those of you guys who know it from its older tournament name, ASL rebranded to SSL. Since Africa TV changed their name to Soup. So, I've been given roughly what the dates are going to be. They're not set in stone yet, but it's the first days of the tournament is going to be around the end of March, start of May. And so I'm super excited to get started. We have had basically nothing going on with StarCraft for a while. Pretty much nothing since the last season of SSL, which was a blast. So if you're planning on coming to Seoul, and again, these dates are not set in stone, but basically within the range of May into April are going to be good times to come down here. Generally speaking, the tournament dates are usually on Mondays and Tuesdays. And I gotta say, I've been jonesing to come back and cast some StarCraft. There's been a lot of trepidation about the whole state of StarCraft in general, with how bad StarCraft 2 is doing, and I'll be talking about that in a second here too. It does appear, from what I've been informed on from Soup, that there's going to be another 2 seasons. So we're going to be going into this next season pretty soon. It should be a lot of fun. If you want to go to our Patreon, it's patreon.com/ASL English. We're still using the old brand for now, since I think most people, even when they come into my Twitch stream, they ask me about that. And this is going to be a lot of fun. As far as the health of StarCraft 1 in Korea, it is still big. It is oftentimes the biggest game that's streamed on Soup, at times ahead of League of Legends or PUBG. So I would say the game's in a very good spot. I don't know what's going to be going on for other tournaments. Obviously there isn't as much big things like or anything close to what SSL is outside of Korea, but there are some foreign run tournaments that have been great, like BSL. But right now in Korea, StarCraft 1's looking really healthy. A lot of people are watching it. The viewership is very good. Some of the biggest streamers in Korea are just streaming StarCraft 1. So I'm excited. You can see they've brought back a couple of the older maps here, which I'm a little bit surprised about. We'll see if these are going to stay the same. Sometimes when I see this, I think, oh, are these the right maps that were updated? This feels like these are all a bit old. I guess with the exception of Death Valley here. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be great to be back here doing this. So definitely join us for that. If you're going to come to the finals, you want to make sure you can buy a ticket in advance. If you need help finding the venue, it's usually over at Jamshil Station, but occasionally they change it. I'll be announcing that as we're doing the casts and uploading them. But for pretty much any other day, as long as you show up, they'll make you buy a ticket on your phone ahead of time. And generally speaking, it's not so packed you can't get in. But occasionally it does happen, so try to get a ticket in advance. There are English services for ticket users. Make sure you don't get your link from someone who's a Korean. It's going to bring you through a different system for buying the ticket, because Koreans have a lot of everything they're using is different than what they're using outside of the country. But you can get tickets. You can get them using the English language. So definitely come down for that. I'm really excited to finally be casting Brood War again. And now on to the state of StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 has been in kind of a weird spot. Basically, StarCraft 1 can exist and has existed because the people that built it up in Korea did it without any help from Blizzard, and Blizzard actually was kind of pushed out of the picture and weren't in control. So there's always been a bit of an ecosystem for Brood War in Korea. StarCraft 2 was all backed by Blizzard. Now, there's other videos I've done on this, on the history of StarCraft. I'm not going to get into it as much here, but when Blizzard pulled out of supporting all of their esports, including StarCraft, they took all the games took a massive hit and have shrunk massively and have been kind of limping in to the next year here. So the Saudi Esports World Cup has announced all their games but 2. So we got a lot of games I'm sure you guys recognize: Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Street Fighter. They even have chess on chess.com, PUBG, League of Legends, Valorant. There are 2 slots remaining. For whatever's going to happen with StarCraft 2, we need to see what happens here first. I think they are still negotiating. By the way, these were actually countdowns that were happening. If you've watched the previous videos, I said we were going to know on this date. They moved the countdown again. I made another video updating that. For whatever reason, and I know that they wanted to do StarCraft 2, it's not here yet. I am not in the loop on this one. Sometimes I get to be involved in some things that I get to tell you guys about later. I'm not involved in this at all, nor is any other caster that you see covering StarCraft 2. If they are able to put StarCraft 2 in the Esports World Cup, that would mean they would have to have some kind of filter system for other tournaments. That would probably include things like GSL. That would include a lot of the other stuff you guys are familiar with internationally. But for now, we don't know. And it's really not clear. So I'm hoping this works out. It seems like some of the negotiations, if I had to guess, come down to they probably still want Blizzard to support this in some way. Maybe having a small skeleton crew to manage the game. Even though the Esports World Cup would be covering the prize pool and a lot of other stuff, I think moving forward, they want to work with publishers that are going to be cooperating with them and collaborating with them. It's very difficult to have any game fully run as an esport if you don't have publisher backing on some level. So I'm hoping we have another year of StarCraft 2. I know some of the people that come to this channel, whether it's my Twitch channel or my YouTube, I've had a lot more StarCraft 1 covered content lately. But I've had a blast casting StarCraft 2. The game's in a good spot, I think. And there is the smallest chance it could be StarCraft 2 and 1 in these 2 spots. There was a year when the event was called Gamers 8 that they did have StarCraft 1 there. I don't know if it would be there this time, though. If we don't have StarCraft 2, we won't have any RTS at the Esports World Cup. That would be tragic, considering the history RTS has had in keeping esports alive. And kind of, it was one of the OG games, so I'm really hoping that we have some kind of support here. So fingers crossed, man. Again, the fact that they took down the countdown timer, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it, Author Valentine.
I want to fucking barf.
The fact that they took down the countdown timer is a bad sign. I don't know what that means, but it probably means whatever they thought they could come to an agreement on hasn't happened yet. If I was a betting man and I could bet on which of these 2 games it would be that we're still waiting out on, I think it's StarCraft 2 and Tekken 8. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. So good news is we're going to be starting some StarCraft very soon. Probably at the end of next month, at the latest, probably early in the first week of that month after that, around there. We'll have dates soon. And then, fingers crossed for StarCraft 2. If StarCraft 2 is not in the Esports World Cup, that would probably cause a huge collapse in a lot of the ecosystem elsewhere. We'll probably have to do more community-funded things and move in that direction. So fingers crossed. I know in my previous video I said we'd know by this date. I had no idea that they would have taken down the countdown timer. So we're going to be finding out soon. I'm sure the story behind this and whatever's keeping the delay going, it's got to be an interesting one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be making more content, StarCraft and other games, other content, RTS and other games on this channel. Be sure to join me on my Twitch stream. And go to tastelessthreads.com where you can find my merch. I will see you in a future video. Bye-bye.